Hey there guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Enoch Kedere and welcome to another cryptocurrency video. Now, of course, for months now, we all have been farming. We have also been farmed. We've been mining, we've been tapping to earn. And many of you, of course, I would say many of us are on this platform to make that quick cash, to make money online. But of course, it goes without saying that we should know what we are on. I mean, what platform are we on, which is the topic of this video. And what I just wanted to share with you guys is the Web 3. So starting with the basics, I would just have to go back to Web 1, Web 2, and now talk about Web 3 so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Now, Web 1, if you guys can remember, maybe not many of us could remember Web 1, but anyways, Web 1 was that time when you go to the internet only to read. So let's say read only, right? So read only. That was when you go to a page, you type maybe some websites on the internet and you could read a page. You could not interact with it, you could not make comments, you could not create a profile, you could not do anything. All you could do was read a couple of pages and a couple of images as well. You could look at some images, but you could not interact with it. That was Web 1. Now, Web 2 is when we could start having profiles, we could start interacting with web pages, we could start putting likes and comments on it, and that was where social media came about. And now going directly to Web 3 is now where you can own your own data on the internet. Now, of course, people will be like, oh, but we already own our data on Facebook and things. These are not owned by you. For example, it's owned by Facebook, but it's your data on Facebook. So you can come onto Facebook, log into Facebook, and then see what you have saved or stored on Facebook. But on Web 3, it is much more decentralized. There is no centralization of everyone's data. It belongs to you. Your online ID or whatsoever is for you and you alone. And that is why it is based on the blockchain network. But now, the twist to it right now is that the data and the interactions on the Web3 platform can give real life values. For example, let's say Facebook was a Web3 platform, okay? So your interaction and the things you do on Facebook will give you a token, or a cryptocurrency, and then that value can be converted into real life value. And this is the part where GameFi, that's gaming and finance, came into Web3 platform. Now, we all play FIFA, Call of Duty, some people play Fortnite, Apex Legends, this shooter game, GTA 5. Now, these are all Web2 gaming platforms now. They are very, very solid. They are big, well-developed, but then everything you do on the game stays on the game. There is no real value into the finance market. So now that is the change now in Web3. So when a gaming platform is built on the Web3 platform, and these things could still be integrated into Web3, all they need to do is create a token, give away with players or people on the platform can, generate and get these tokens due to activities on the platform. And then, of course, to be able to get tokens from this, you have to put it on the blockchain. So your blockchain identity has to be connected to this game so that when you get the tokens, it gets directly automatically transferred into your blockchain or into your wallet, whatsoever it might be. So, but now, of course, the Ton network is now the biggest dog so far. I mean, the Ton network can be proud to have made a really big improvement, or let's say the first and a half steps into the Web3 platform. Of course, there's still so many projects out there. For example, the Carve, there's the Metaverse, there's the Open Network. These are very solid projects that have also come out with Web3 models. I mean, the GameFi, because of course it's GameFi we're speaking about right now. We're talking only about the GameFi part of Web3 because there's so many other parts of Web3. There's also the email part. There's the, data part. There's just finance part. There's different things which will be developing as time goes on. Of course, this is Web 3.0. There will be a 3.1, 3.12, 3.4, 3.5, and so on and so forth. But it's just speaking about the GameFi in general, because that's what most of us are doing here. We're on the Ton network, earning loads of tokens just by playing games, which is what I'm speaking about today. And now, of course, having done the little introduction into the Web3 ecosystem, now these are some of the things that you need to watch out for while going into any Web3 GameFi project. Now, because there's a whole lot of them, and sometimes you might waste your time grinding some of these games for the aim of making money, because of course we are on here to make money. Yes, to make money first of all, then to then enjoy the games and enjoy the communities. But to make money online is the most important part of it. I want to put out some guidelines on what we should watch out for before going into this project. Now, the point of these guidelines is just so that you do not waste your time, your money, and your investment into some of this project, because some of this project are already requiring us to put so much input into it to have, to be eligible for an airdrop, or to make sure that you get enough tokens. So these are some things you need to watch out for. And the first one will be use case. Now, this is the most important thing ever. And we could actually end the video on this point, because once you can identify a project's use case, then you know that it will be backed, you know that it will last out there on the blockchain, and you know that investors are going to come into the project. Now, use case is very important. Pairs, very important. CEXs, that is the main exchanges the project will be listed on, is also very important. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. For example, if you guys look at Bloom right now, Bloom is a solid project on the Ton ecosystem. Now, it's also a Web3 platform. It has been introduced as a Web3 platform to gain traction, and the use case is Bloom becoming a major exchange in the future. So now this is something that if you could get a lot of Bloom points, for example, then you could think of Binance Smart Chain, or for example, the Binance. You could think of Coinbase. You could think of Trust Wallets. You could think of BitGet. You could think of Bybit. So Bloom will be one of these things when they finally release and share their tokens to users. So that is already a very solid case, a solid use case, being an exchange for people on the Ton ecosystem, for example, or on the Web3 platform, or on the GameFi platform. Bloom already has a very strong use case. Now let's go to another project. Let's think of dogs. Now, what was the use case of dogs? Now, guys, use case doesn't always have to be something really serious. Now, the use case could just be, it's a meme token, it's a Solana-based project. It's a Ethereum-based project, So dogs, for example, was one of the first meme tokens listed by the Ton network. So it is the Ton network, or let's say Telegram's native meme token. That is dogs. So of course, dogs is going to have also a very strong use case, thereby attracting investors and, helping the ecosystem of the Ton network actually build up. Now, in the future, many other projects are going to be connected with these tokens, because they are on the blockchain, on the Ton blockchain, for example. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is avoiding pump and dump projects. Now, you would know a pump and dump project because they do not have any use case. First of all, they are not backed by any solid project, for example, on the Ton network, or they are not backed by any project like Binance Labs, or they are not backed by anybody in general. So there, these are pump and dump projects. So they are Web3 projects that would make you gain lots of coins, and then at the end of the day, they're just going to dump. Now, it's also not bad to join these projects. If you can farm and mine really well, they're for you to make cash. You have to just make the best of this project. For example, you buy, you grind, you mine, and then at the end of the day, when it leasts, you sell, make your USDT, and don't wait for it to become dust. So that is the way to work with pump and dump projects. How do you recognize them? No real user case, no strong backing, just probably they were distributed by ads, Of course, you would see so many projects on different eligible projects. For example, you will see them on the Notcoin Explorer, you see it on different places, but then they are not backed, they are only being advertised. They pay lots of big money to be advertised. So let those projects run, but those are going to be potential pump and dump project. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is also a positive side to look out for. These are community-driven projects that have lots of investors' attention. Community-based projects with lots of investors' attention. If you guys look at the Notcoin, community-based. If you look at NotPixel, is also very strongly community-based. If you look at what are the Catizen, if you look at Hamster Combat as well, if you look at Bloom, it's community-based with lots of investors looking around the corner. So when you see something like that and lots of investors want to get into it, they want to bite a bit of that cake, I have to be in this project. And finally, the last point are the pay-to-win models. Now, there is something I want to say about this pay-to-win. Of course, we already know now that the best way to get the best chances of getting a very strong airdrop now is to be active. To also be a utility to the project means paying inputs, buying stars, for example, on the Ton network, putting in some amount of money, because that is also indirectly investing, and then also playing the game heavily. But the games that are just pay to win models, this ones you should be careful about it. If you have lots of money to put into them, do it, but make sure that you would know for a certain that these are not community-based. For the first part of it, these are not community-based. And number two, this could be pump and dump models because they do not have any strong use case. So at the end of the day, you have to look at these 4 points that I gave. You have to match them together. Use case, are they pump or dump? Are they community-backed with investor attraction? And the last one, are they pay-to-win models? Now, if they have all of these points, then you should know that it's a very solid one. But if it's just having one of the negative points, then you should know I do not have to waste my time on this project. So because there's loads of projects out there, some of you are wondering, how do I pick the one that is good? How do I spend my time in one that will pay out really well? How do I know which one to invest my time and energy? My advice is actually sometimes you would never know. So do what you can do, do what you have the opportunity, energy, and time to do. But then at the end of the day, if you can use some of these outlines or guidelines, you can choose which projects to invest your hard-earned cash and also your energy into. So guys, I hope I've done a little bit of justice to the Web3 platform and how for you to find good projects to, spend your time and energy in. Have a wonderful day, and make sure you, leave a reaction on the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.